And now as we continue our time of meditation, I invite you to become aware of your breathing and allow your mind and body to relax even more. You may wish to see or imagine a beautiful healing light entering through the top of your head and gently cascading down through your head, relaxing the forehead, the muscles behind your eyes, softening the jaw and the root of the tongue. Allow this beautiful healing light to continue its flow, easing any constrictions as it gently travels and flows down your torso, arms, legs, and out through the soles of your feet. There is nothing you need to do right now, nowhere you need to go. It is simply enough to breathe and be. Resting in the stream of well-being, become aware of God's eternal rhythm within you. In each heartbeat and in each breath, you are a living light of God, alive with the pulse of Spirit. In the words of Charles Fillmore, be still and turn within to the great source. See with the eye of faith that the whole world is filled with substance. See it falling all about you as snowflakes of gold and silver. And so we take a moment to visualize those golden snowflakes and silver sparkling, glittering, landing softly all around us. And these are symbols of the ever-present wealth of God, the ever-present love of God. Right here, right now, manifesting into form and blessing us continuously. Let us take a few moments to be with this now, in the silence. Now, as we return our awareness to this room, let us be thankful for our expanded awareness of our greater good, the greater love that is always available to us. And with grateful hearts, we say, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
All right. I like that. Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Brian. You're doing good. As some of you may have noticed, especially those of you who peeked during the meditation, Reverend Sharon's not with us today. We have a guest speaker, Reverend RevRobynPlante. You've probably met her because she's been here for a while. Reverend Robyn is an ordained Unity minister who recently moved here from Northern California to be near family. She has been a Unity student for over 25 years and has served 2 Unity churches in California. Unity of Oroville, everybody knows who that is, right?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I've heard. And Unity Center of Davis. We all know Davis. She enjoys speaking, teaching, writing, and facilitating conscious aging classes. Her background includes a master's degree in English, a career in education, Unity ordination, and a master's degree in divinity in 2013, Reiki master certification, and a lifelong love of learning and teaching. Please welcome our guest speaker today, Reverend RevRobynPlante.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. I want to thank Jack and the music team for fabulous songs today. I've got a prosperous mind. Are you going to be singing that during the week? Yes. I am too. And then that other one, there's at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. Wow. Well, I am so glad to be here today, to be with you in this month of prosperity with the theme, A Design for Living an Abundant Life. And this is one of my favorite teachings in Unity because no matter how many times we practice prosperity principles, there's always more to learn, isn't there? There's more to understand, there's more to live into, because we are more than the last time we worked the material, right? We are more attuned to that divine activity within us that is continually unfolding and nudging us to be and come from that Christ Spirit and express in new and more wonderful ways. So can you feel that divine activity in you this morning? Yes. Yes. Who feels that? Yeah. So I am really excited about this month's series of talks. And today, we are starting with some, what I call building blocks. ABCs, allowing, believing, giving, and receiving, circulating today. That's what we're about. Allowing, believing, giving, and receiving, circulating are good. So what do you think blocks us from allowing greater good into our lives? Is it fear? Maybe doubt, unworthiness, or forgetting who we truly are as beloved creations of a loving Creator, worthy of all good. So what if we could remember our true identity as beloved creations of a loving Creator, worthy for all good? That's our work with prosperity, isn't it? With abundance teachings, to remember. Some have defined true abundance as the power to satisfy our needs and make our dreams come true. So what are your dreams? Maybe they're in the area of creative expression. You have some ideas for a project, a song, something that's just coming to you and through you. Maybe your dreams have to do with greater health and vibrancy and vitality and enjoying life more, or traveling. Maybe your dream has to do with financial abundance, that you really want ease and flow and peace of mind with your finances. Because isn't that the key, no matter what that number is, to have peace of mind about it and know that it is enough and more than enough? Or maybe your dream has to do with relationships, with improving your relationships or having more friends, or maybe that beloved in your life, having that heart connection. So Jesus reminds us that God's got it covered. Do not be afraid, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. You don't have to beg. We don't have to whine. It's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And as Catherine Ponder adds, and it should be your good pleasure to receive it. In her book, Open Your Mind to Prosperity, she reminds us, there is nothing divine about living a pinched existence. And that we can have whatever we can mentally accept, but we must mentally accept it first. That's true for anything that manifests, isn't it? If we look around this room and all these beautiful creations, that it was first an idea. Somebody had to mentally accept it and then take the steps to do what they needed to do to allow it to come into form. So the spiritual truth is that we live in a rich, opulent universe. Now sometimes in our world of facts don't reflect that, right? When we look maybe at a checkbook or a relationship or a living situation, but to know that facts are temporary and facts do change. I like this by Wayne Dyer. Abundance is not something we acquire, it's something we tune into. So it's already here. And we tune into this abundance every time we give our time, our talent, our treasure, joyously and freely. We tune into it every time we are a grateful receiver. And also when we are present to our own lives and notice what we do have, what is working, how God is working in us and in our lives. We tune into that abundance that is already here. So gratitude plays a big part in this, doesn't it? So what are you grateful for today? I am really grateful that when I moved here, there was a Unity Church in Carlsbad. So allowing greater good means that we need to be willing to go beyond our past and our current concepts of what we think is possible for our lives. And this takes courage, doesn't it, to go beyond what has been, to allow this greater good. Because when we do this, our lives will change. You get that job you've wanted, you're in this relationship you wanted, and your life will change, won't it? How you spend your time, what you think about, where you go, maybe even your living situation might change. So do we keep our greater good away from us simply because we're afraid of change? even good change. One of my teachers in the past, this has stuck with me over the years in Unity. She said, sometimes you have to give up the good for the greater. Have you ever had to do that? Give up the good for the greater. And this past year, I was invited to give up the good for the greater when I made the decision to move here to Carlsbad from Davis, California. Now, my life there was pretty good. I had a beautiful community, loving spiritual community I was serving. I had a circle of friends that I had fun with. I had a lot of creative opportunities to express things I enjoyed, my writing and teaching. And as good as it was, there was still something more. There was still that persistent heart's desire to be near family. And that little nudge has been happening for years. And then I would just push it away. But we know how that works with those desires of the heart, that they are gentle and persistent. They don't go away, do they? And that word desire means of the Father. So when you have that heart's desire, that is God trying to get your attention. There's more here. There's more. So one thing I had to work through was letting go of limiting thoughts. And one limiting thought I had when I thought about moving back down here was, it's too expensive. And so I thought, you know what, that idea is not going to get me anywhere. So I prayed for a more expansive idea. And the answer that I got, the idea I began to entertain was this. What if it were affordable to live there? Just what if? And so with this new thought, I started to notice new things. Have you noticed that when you open your mind to a new possibility, you start to notice things you didn't notice before? So what I started to see as I was looking online for places to live was some senior living communities. And what I had to let go of was my limiting thoughts about being a senior. Anybody else have to do that? I had to work through that one, you know? And it kind of cracks me up because my good was waiting there for me this whole time, but I didn't see it. These 55 and up communities were there the whole time, but I didn't notice them. So when I finally got it, I said, okay, God, I surrender. Is this my good showing up here? I applied, I got in, and I love my senior community where I live. It's friendly, it's affordable, it's quiet. I love living there. It's such a blessing. But I had to allow my mind to open up, that greater good to come, to let go of some limiting thoughts. And as a bonus, the same week I moved here, my new grandson was born. And so now I get to hang out with this beautiful spiritual being every week. And it's such a heart-opening activity, this new beautiful creation of God that is in the world. I feel so blessed. And I would have missed that had I stayed up north. I would have missed that experience, watching him grow and connecting with him. So which area of your life is calling you to entertain new possibilities? I bet you have at least one. Isn't that a beautiful bridge? Yeah. It's called the Hand of God Bridge in Vietnam.
Wow.
And isn't that how we live our lives, trusting that we are supported? So, today, the Super Bowl Sunday, and all those players that are going to be on the field today, they have committed their lives, haven't they, to train, to do those drills, to practice those plays over and over and over again, repeating those patterns so it gets into their muscle memory. And not just physically, but mentally. They get their minds in the game too. I heard about this announcer that was hired with no experience. They call him Tony Nostradamus. Have you heard of him? He used to be a player, and now he's an announcer, and he can predict what's going to happen on the field because he's been there so many times. And so this is what happens when we build our abundance consciousness to create a life we love. We commit to that field of greater possibility by training our minds, training our thinking. So we build our belief by aligning with Source and remembering our one true source, that God is our one true source, that there are many channels through which that good flows, through people, through jobs, through opportunities, institutions, but to know God as a one true source. Jesus advised to seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given you as well. So seek first the kingdom, that kingdom of heaven consciousness that is within you, right here, right now. The ancient Greek word for heaven is oranos, which means expanding. So you have this place of heavenly expansion within you right now that is always pressing out as more love, more peace, more good, more of all that God is. Righteousness just means right thinking, to train your thoughts. Seek first that kingdom of heaven, that kingdom of God within, and those right thoughts. And thoughts are great, and there's more. Ask and it will be given you. Search and you will find. Knock and the door will be open for you. Which means we have to take some action, right? And you have the perfect, or we in this community have a perfect opportunity this week with Reverend Sharon's class starting with the Art of Abundance. I think I saw a sign-up sheet back there. So taking action, getting with like-minded people to go deeper with this is a step you could take, or getting a mastermind prayer partner, or focusing or extending your current meditation and prayer time. Immersing yourself in inspirational materials, training your mind with prosperity affirmations. My first Unity Prosperity class, one assignment we had was to affirm, I am prosperous, 200 times a day. So I put it to the tune of Here Comes Santa Claus. I am prosperous, I am prosperous, I am prosperous. It's fun to sing in the car. So we're training our minds, and we can be creative with our language too. I have a friend who has excluded the word busy from her vocabulary. And she reminds me that in Chinese, the characters for the word busy, it's two characters, killing and heart, for busy. And when you think about being busy and the stress, that is kind of hard on the heart, isn't it? Physically, and also keeping that heart from enjoying life, right? So when I ask her how her day has been, this is what she says. I've had a joyfully active day. So we can be joyfully active as well by circulating our good. How many of you are familiar with Marie Kondo? She has that Netflix series now. She helps people, she goes in their houses and helps people declutter. To let go. Yeah, of what they no longer use, or I think she puts it, no longer sparks joy. That maybe it did at one point, but now, it doesn't. So to release that. Is that hard for you to do that? Sometimes it is hard, especially we have memories attached to things. And she advises, I think I read in her book, that you can take a picture of it and write a little, memory about it if you're going to give it away. So we can practice circulation in a material way by going through closets. For me, it was the bookshelf, and releasing items, setting them free so they can bless someone else. How many of you already do this? I bet you do. Yeah. So we also circulate our good by sharing our finances too, by being a grateful giver, and by remembering that you can't outgive God. When you're in the circulation stream of giving and receiving, there's always more, and your needs will be provided for. Over the years when I've taught prosperity classes, people will often say, well, when I get rich, I'll give. But when we wait for a windfall, we just take ourselves out of that circulating stream of good. And then things start to pile up. It's hard to look at, isn't it? That's like our minds sometimes too, isn't it? When we're busy and get all this stuff clogging our minds. So, you circulate it good. So know that we give because we've already received. We're grateful. We've already received, and so we do give. And we always have something to give. We bless it coming in, and we bless it going out, knowing that it's part of God's good circulating in the body of humanity. Also, every prosperity teaching says that if you're experiencing challenges with money or feeling stuck in your life in any way, to do some forgiveness work. Reverend Pam talked about that last week, right? And the forgiveness is like the spiritual WD-40. It just gets things moving easily and opens that channel for giving and receiving. Because what we're really giving, whether it's clothes, food, money, our time, our talent, our treasure, what we're really giving is love. We're circulating God's love in various forms. So giving is God's love made visible. And when you give, you are God's love in action. You are God's love made visible. So when we get to that, we just give. Yeah. So this week, allow, believe, give, and receive. Thank you.